Hello, everyone. This is Justice, the real estate agent, and I'm here with
Andrew Webb, Cross Country Mortgage.
All right. And today we just want to talk about briefly a client that we had, and it's a current deal that we're about to close, but just how it transpired. It was pretty unique. So I'll have Andrew talk more about it.
Wow. Yeah. So this was a really unique scenario because I called you just to check in and see how you're doing, see how business was doing, and introduce you to another way to help people out these days. And you mentioned that you had some turbulence. So we had a situation where the borrower basically was a little short on closing on an FHA purchase, which is a very standard thing, but needed a little bit of assistance. And so one of the really cool products that we have at CCM, Cross Country Mortgage, is a product that's called basically a zero down FHA loan, which is like unheard of because normally you need 3.5% down. Basically, we're able to do that, structure that form, get them pre-approved, get it into underwriting within a day, get all the title stuff back, survey, all this stuff that needs to be done, all within, 3 days now. Today's the third day, and we're looking at hopefully closing in another 2 days. Insane turnaround, but these type of unique products are available to first-time home buyers and non-first-time home buyers. And so, yeah, I'm glad that I called. The universe said to call you, and now I know why. So pretty cool.
All right. Thank you for that one. Yep. So just this deal in particular, he lost his job, got a new job, didn't have money down. So just talk to people about, okay, if you have a transition between working, there still may be a chance to get a new job, correct? I mean, a new home loan. Yeah.
So basically, in his situation, it was a lender specific overlay that was requiring them for him to be on his job for 30 days. And that is actually not the investor's rule. That's a specific overlay or rule. So long story short, you may have just started your job. You may be starting a job here soon. And likely in both cases, you're able to qualify for a home based on the job offer letter or just starting on your job. A lot of people, more than I care to admit, think that they have to be on their job for a year, 2 years. And technically you can, get qualified for a home if you're just starting your job. If you're coming out of school, for example, and you're going to be starting in your new career, you can qualify for a home right away, and we can use your school transcripts to document your work history. So there's a ton of ways. But if you go to certain lenders out there or institutions, they may have their own rules that prevent that from happening. So you got to work with someone that has those flexibilities and has the lack of those overlays.
The key factor about this deal specifically was the fact that the underwriter is in-house. So I initially did not know the difference, and it just made the deal a little bit more sticky, I would say. But talk to the people more about how having that underwriter in-house separates you guys as Cross Country Mortgage and how it made the deal better.
Yeah, so there's a couple ways. One is just communication, speeds things up. I'm able to, literally Teams, Zoom, if you will call it, right to the underwriters. And that's available in a lot of places, but sometimes not, right? Sometimes if you're the third party and you're the kind of the middleman, so to speak, you're not able to have that kind of direct access to the team. The culture is also important, right? Knowing the culture of your underwriting, because they're in-house, is important, because then you kind of have a feel of what you can kind of get done and what you can't. And then in this particular case, we mentioned it being like a down payment assistance loan. So that requires an additional underwriter. It's called a bond review underwriter. And so when you have an organization that has regular underwriters, right, and then the loan needs to go to a bond underwriter, that can add 6-7 days or a week, basically, in business days to a transaction. In this case, we were able to find an underwriter that's cross-trained in both and can do the initial underwriting and the bond underwriting at the same time, which shaved tremendous amount of time off. So that's why we're talking about doing a bond loan in potentially a week. Insane capabilities, and it really does help you guys out there. So do not let people not purchase their homes because of these type of things. It's worth a second look, and we can find those folks in our industry and help them to obtain home ownership in these unique ways. Pretty cool.
And then Andrew specifically as well, similar to this buyer, they were supposed to close on their home, but the financing wasn't available. And I know that was your story as well. So could you tell the people more about, how you overcame that situation and kind of how you got started with mortgages, specifically cross country too?
Yeah, so literally I've been in this borrower's shoes. My family and I were a couple days from closing, we thought. And basically the institution that we were trying to get approval through for the loan told us that we weren't approved. Our realtor, kind of like you did with these folks here, this family, realtor said, hey, call this gentleman at Cross Country Mortgage. I did. They answered the phone late after hours. The next day said, I think we can get this done, and we're going to get it done as fast as possible. And about 2 weeks later, we were in that house. We had closed on that transaction with a different lender, with this company. So I spent the next 3 years sending people to this lender. It's just out of appreciation, and jokingly said one day, I'll just come work with you, I guess, at this point. And here I am 4.5, almost 5 years later, working with that gentleman and working for the same company that saved our purchase. And that purchase changed our life when it comes to finances, for sure. It was a great investment, and I'm glad that Cross Country was able to help. So I get a real kick out of being able to do the same exact thing for families like the one you and I are helping right now. It's amazing. It's amazing what can be done.
Appreciate that. And then we were talking briefly earlier off camera about certain products that the company offers. There was one specifically about the investors and the bank statements. Could you just tell them briefly about some of the things that people don't know you can do without having to show certain income and so forth? Specifically, like even, for instance, the 7-Eleven guy you mentioned, those are some really nice ones.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got all kind of products. One of the awesome things about a company like this that's been built to kind of be a one-stop shop is there are just so many different options that you can offer the consumers that are out there who need a variety of different lending solutions. One, for example, is our bank statement product. So say you're self-employed, you don't show enough income on your tax returns, but you do make the money, we can use cash flow or business deposits in your bank statement to qualify you. Another one is if you want to invest in a property, you want to be an investor and buy an investment property, you can do so without any look at your personal income. We can look at the rental income, do an appraisal, figure out what the rental income is going to be on that property, and qualify someone with just the appraisal. So it's an appraisal-only investor loan. In simple terms, if somebody wants to say someone's very wealthy and they have a lot of assets, right, and they don't necessarily have any income anymore, we can use their assets, money market, stocks, retirement accounts, and do a calculation and give them credit on a monthly basis to qualify for a home. So you don't even have to have a job if you're come into some money, or if you've built up quite a bit of assets and wealth. We can use those to qualify borrowers as well. So there's a lot of different programs, but for our first-time home buyers out there, there's really unique programs available to you when it comes to where you live now, where you're renting. So if you're renting in an eligible area, especially here in Central Florida, there's a 200-something areas that if someone's renting in and qualifies for a conventional loan, they're able to get a grant right now that the government is giving towards your down payment, and it can cover most of your down payment in many cases.
All right, well, you have another event coming up soon, and so we'll definitely cover some more footage on that as well. Do you want to tell the people about your event coming up?
Yeah, so this event is for real estate professionals, real estate agents who are looking to add 5 more families to who they're going to help next year. 5 more transactions, but in a unique and powerful way. So we're going to talk about unique lending tools, and we're going to talk about unique marketing efforts that are going to really, really narrow down your efforts to be highly effective when it comes to helping people. So I was one of those 5 families. We just talked about my story. And so, finding those 5 families, at least 5, in 2025 is what we're going to do as a collective. So we're going to have several agents involved, all working together, watching each other's successes, learning from each other's feedback to find 5 families in 2025. That's what we're doing, 5 and 25. It's on November 13th at 10 a.m. here in Lake Mary, Florida. Appreciate you asking about it because I'm excited about it. Because ultimately what will happen is more families will get to reach their goal of obtaining real estate here in America, their American dream. That's a huge part of it. And based on what we're going to do on 5 and 25, we're going to make that happen for them.
All right. Well, thank you for your time.
Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Still recording?